Hello and welcome to the May book haul. It isn't quite the end of May when I'm recording this, but it does need to be the end of me book hauling in May, because if I continue in this vein, I will very shortly run out of space in my house, and that would be sad. So at time of recording, though probably not when you get to see this, I have just returned from Melbourne. I was a bit worried about Melbourne. I knew I'd visit a couple of bookshops while I was there, and I was worried that I was going to exceed my baggage limit when I got back. Far from it. Melbourne actually ended up being a bit disappointing in terms of second-hand books. The bookshops that I remember from when I lived there were mostly gone. I visited a couple of very nice bookshops. One was the paperback bookstore in the CBD, and the other was the basement bookstore in the CBD for second-hand. Both were disappointing in terms of science fiction and fantasy, which I've been primarily buying at the moment. So, what did I buy? I bought The Peripheral by William Gibson. This is a book, a Penguin. I've been looking for it for a while. I have almost all of the Sprawl series, but some of William Gibson's more contemporary series I don't have. And while I have read The Peripheral in the past, I don't own it. I'd like to reread the newer series in order, so I got this. I went to Melbourne and I only bought one book. The look of shock on my friends' faces was astronomical. The most exciting book that I have acquired in this particular month would have to be The Fabulous Riverboat by Philip Jose Farmer, sent to me very kindly by Chris from Liminal Spaces because he wants me to read it and review it. I'm very grateful for that. I have all the rest of the Riverworld and a fair bit more from Philip Jose Farmer, but I haven't been able to find this one. And it's very, very dedicated of him to send it all the way from America, with Australian postage being what it is. What else? So, getting books in the mail is always exciting. I also got these, very kindly acquired and donated to the cause of my reading by Steve. Thank you, Steve, when you watch this. These are not science fiction fantasy. These are, when I finally get to them, Susan Coolidge books. Now, she was a historical writer. She didn't write historical fiction, she wrote historically. And one of her more famous series, at least in America, is the Katie series. What Katie Did Next, etc. I read all of those as a kid, and I went to reread them this year or last year, I'm not sure. And I realized that every single copy I owned was abridged. I'm an adult now. I don't want it abridged. I want it unabridged. And then I found out just how hard it is to find the Katie series by Susan Coolidge unabridged. I was actually getting quite frustrated when someone who does shop online, unlike myself, I shop in the wild, found these ones online for me and used their account to purchase them. And I hope I can get them out of this bag without doing permanent damage. They are very well wrapped. So these were acquired from an Australian online bookseller. I did look at their website. I then grumbled a bit and decided not to purchase online because it's not something I do a lot of. However, these beautiful hardcover, not new, there's some writing in them, but so close to new condition that they might as well be new. What Katie Did. What Katie Did at School. And What Katie Did Next. Regular viewers of the channel will know that I am not 100% on board with the whole hardcover notion. I have hopes that they will fit on my purpose-built shelves. Let's see. No, they do not fit on my purpose-built shelves. There's a 2mm difference. Ah, well. I have one hardcover shelf at the bottom of every bookshelf. These three will go on there, but I will read them first. I would love to get stuck into them right away, to be honest, but that's not quite going to happen. The Fabulous Riverboat, since it was donated, is going to be read soon. What Katie Did Next and Friends are going to be read soon. They need to be prioritised, but I also have a reading challenge and a buddy read that need to be considered. Okay, back on science fiction and fantasy, which seems to be what I primarily read these days and what I primarily watch other people reading these days. I got a whole heap of books of Clive. Clive lives around the corner from me. He is an avid reader of science fiction and fantasy. He sells online the ones that he is done with, or if he buys a big lot and he doesn't need them all. I should probably learn from Clive how to do that before I get pushed out of house and home by the accumulation of books. A good problem to have, I think we will all agree. So these are all books I specifically wanted for one reason or another. Robert Silverberg, Those Who Watch, with that beautiful wraparound cover. I've been getting right into Silverberg again. I didn't have this one. I was pleased to acquire it. Clive was kindly sold me all of these books for $2 each, since there was no postage and no effort. A.E. Van Vogt, Empire Van Vogt. Oh, I've forgotten how to say it again, haven't I? Vogt? Van Vogt, right? Right? Empire of the Atom. This incredibly bizarre cover that has always put me off in the past. It's just creepy and weird, and I do love it, but one is inclined to think that anything with a cover like this is not going to be a great read. I know it won't be a great read because I read the number 2 of this series just recently. Last year? Maybe this year. So I've read the second one for this, and now I'll read the first one. It will be terrible, but terrible perhaps in a good way. Another A. Van Vogt, Quest for the Future, in this rather nice condition little New English Library book with this beautiful artwork. I love that juxtaposition of a Jupiter-like planet over a city that may or may not be ruined. And in the back especially, you can see the colours that run through the city. Beautiful cover. I used to have this, and I have read this, but it was a long time ago. I went to reread this recently based on something I saw or read and discovered that I no longer owned it. But now I own it again. Again, with A. Van Vogt, we've got Children of Tomorrow. Another one, I feel like I probably did own this at one stage, but I can't seem to find it. So this, again, New English Library edition is now mine. I really like the cover for this one. It's like your classic beautiful beach type scene with 2 people in it, but add in the same coloration style that revolving spaceship, kind of like a top. It's great cover. Roger Zelazny and Thomas T. Thomas, Flare. I don't have this one. It's got Zelazny on the cover. Enough said. Robert Heinlein. Heinlein, yes, I know he's hit or miss. I've been reading him for years. I do enjoy Heinlein. I fully acknowledge every single fault that everyone can find with it, but I enjoy it. Apparently, I no longer own Starman Jones, but Clive did, and now I do once again. Orphans of the Sky. I'm not even sure if I've ever read this one, to be honest. I've heard it talked about. I may have read it. Glimmerings of memory suggest I might have, but certainly not in this cover. I can't say I am intoxicated by this Ace edition with the strange pink Robert Heinlein cornerstone, but the book is the main principle. Robert Heinlein, Red Planet. I love that cover art. How good is this Pan edition with that marvelous skeleton crab monster? Skeleton crab monster. But it's got antennae. Maybe insect skeleton crab monster. Anyway. Great. Looking forward to reading that one. It's probably a reread. Probably. Malt Brother by Jacqueline Lichtenberg, who was actually, if I'm not mistaken, Robin Hobb. I owned Malt Brother when I was a teenager, and I read it many times. It is an extremely disturbing story, dealing as it does with themes of betrayal, abandonment, and how truly bad humans can be from the point of view of an alien but human adjacent female. It was a really disturbing book. I knew it really well. I went to reread it and discovered I didn't have it. I think this one actually might have fallen apart back in the day. I have a Keith Laumer or two. I also now have The Great Time Machine Hoax because it's got dinosaurs. And dinosaurs are great. And I really like that cover. And I've already got another Keith Laumer. So. Now here was the prize. Here is the reason why I broke my promise to myself not to buy too many books in this month and went book shopping. I've been looking for Christopher Priest's A Dream of Wessex for a while. And Clive had this beautiful Pan science fiction edition lozenge on sale. I've really enjoyed reading Priest again these last couple of years. I haven't read him for a long time. But A Dream of Wessex has been eluding me. I haven't been able to find it. But this one is in good condition and I just jumped upon the chance. So that is possibly quite high near the top of my future reading list, which is getting rather long. I bought Arthur C. Clarke and Gentry Lee's Rama 2 because I've heard good things about it. And I really enjoyed Rama 1. Here is another Robert A. Heinlein, Citizen of the Galaxy, in this beautiful puffin, not penguin edition. It's all bubbles. Now, the cover is in hideous condition. It looks like it had a plasticated cover and the plastic has started to come off it. It's all wrinkly and like lightning strike hit it. It's in terrible condition, but I am really keen for this because I can't remember if I have ever read this, and if I did, it was so long ago that I can't remember it. Alan Dean Foster, Blood Hype. I loved Alan Dean Foster as a teenager. I especially loved the Flinx series. Philip Lynx and his pet venomous flying serpent Pip were my heroes for many years there. I never knew that I was missing a book from that series. Apparently Blood Hype is number 2 with Orphan Star, either the first or the third, and I'm not sure that I've ever read this. It's a different edition to the ones I have. It's a bit older. It's probably actually a bit more valuable when it comes to that, but I am keen to read it. I'd like to reread the whole Flinx series, to be honest. I don't know when I'll find the time, but this Del Rey copy can go in with them, and maybe eventually I will. Ron Goulart. I've been hearing a lot about Ron Goulart. This is another one. I read heaps of him in my teens because my family had them. At one point I went off Goulart. I got over Goularted. But a few people recently have talked about Shaggy Planet, and so I've picked up this edition as well, and I'll see whether my opinion of Shaggy Planet is similar to other people's opinion of Shaggy Planet. It's a beautiful edition, even if I don't end up loving this Magnum science fiction original. The artwork is just spectacular. Since there was Goulart there already, I also picked up After Things Fell Apart. It's an Arrow. It's got this really bizarre cover, which I actually find quite humorous and enjoyable. Very much of its times, as Goulart, I guess, was. I also picked up Master SF series The Paradox Men by Charles L. Harness, and the introduction is by Brian Aldiss. I'm 99.9% certain that I've seen someone reviewing this or talking about this recently, but I had it on my penciled in list of books that I want to acquire, so now I have acquired it. Hopefully, sooner or later, I'll remember why. If you've recently read this and reviewed it, let me know, because it's probably your review that I watched. J.G. Ballard, The Wind from Nowhere. It's getting so hard to find Ballard. Even in the new paperback shop, there was virtually no Ballard. So I was delighted to find this Penguin edition. Seriously, Science Fiction Penguin have some of the best covers, and I really like this one. So I will read that sooner or later. Looking forward to it. Ray Bradbury, The Martian Chronicles. How horrified was I to find that I no longer had The Martian Chronicles. I have Ray Bradbury 3 or 4 left over from when Ray Bradbury was everywhere and you couldn't walk into an op shop without finding some. No more the case by any means. I am well due a reread of this. I have read a couple of isolated short stories. The Blue Bottle, I think, was one from The Martian Chronicles. I would like to reread them as a whole. I've been hearing about them a lot too. Also, we have Sleeping Planet by William R. Burkett Jr. I rather think that I got this purely because the cover was so wild, bizarre, and weird that I couldn't resist it. So this is a science fiction novel by, I don't think I actually even knew, Paperback Library Inc. New York. Is that a thing? Was that a thing? I don't know. But look at those amazing robots with their pink smeary background. I wonder if it's as bad as it looks. I don't think I know that author at all. But I couldn't resist the cover. So there we go. But wait, there's more. There is so much more. Because when you read a lot and you do YouTubes, people give you books. No, I'm not advertising Woolworths in case you wondered. Some of these I already have. I don't think I had them when they were purchased for me, but I already do. So I now have another, oh no, I don't have this one. Dick Gently's Holistic Detective Agency by Douglas Adams in Pan. I don't have this one. I've got a lot of Douglas Adams, but not that one. We have here a hardcover of Douglas Adams's The Restaurant at the End of the Universe, which I do have this one, but you can't let a book of this languish in obscurity with no one to love it. It's this strange little edition. It's not in great condition. With beautiful, I don't know if you can see that it's kind of damask paper. It's a Millennium Orion book, and it's got an ant to prove it. I'm not sure what the ant proves, but hey. And yeah, it's this little hardcover. I actually really like it. I think in some ways I like it better than the one I already have. Still on the Arthur C. Clarke and Gentry Lee. Cradle, which I didn't have. Now I do. Orson Scott Card, Shadow Puppets. I've got a lot of Orson Scott Card, and I've read quite a bit of it fairly recently, but I don't have Shadow Puppets, so we'll see how that goes. The Moat Around Murchison's Eye by Niven and Pournelle. I've got quite a few of their books. They are mostly quite large, so I'm not going through them as fast as I might prefer, but I did really enjoy Ringworld. I do really enjoy Niven's writing, and I am more than willing to adjust to more of it, including when he writes with Stephen Barnes. Anansi. I was a bit excited about this one. Barnes and Niven together wrote the Dream Park series, and I'm keen to see what they are going to do here. There's a little bit of cleaning up of this book that I'm going to attempt. The newest sticker from Lifeline, which is a travesty of nature, but this much older one may never come off without taking the entire cover with. Okay, Robert Jordan wrote Conan the Unconquered, which I believe I have in fact read at some stage, but now I own it again, and the possibility of rereading is real. Mac Reynolds, Galactic Medal of Honor. I've got a lot of Mac Reynolds. I like his writing. He's not that easy to find, so my collection is kind of minimalistic, I guess you would say. Now I've got more. Come on then. Larry Niven once again, this time with Paul Anderson and Dean Ing, wrote The Man Xin Wars. Xin, of course, refers to one of the aliens that are present on the Ringworld, and these wars are referenced regularly in the Ringworld. I think I quite want to read this. I enjoyed the Xin character in Ringworld, and it'll feel a little bit like filling out the background. That's meant to be 3 short stories. I hope they're fairly consistent. Rob Grant Colony. I can't remember why I have this, but I do. It's in good condition. That won't be the reason. I must have decided I want to read it, or someone must have recommended it. Tell me if it was you. Mac Reynolds, once again, Chaos in Lagrangia. With so many stickers on it, you can hardly see that beautiful cover behind it anymore. There's even a sticker on the spine. It's like, why do people do these things? No, I'll have to pay some attention, sit down with some formulations and teach them gently. Hello. You come to join the book experience, have you? I'm sure it's the paper bag you're interested in, not the books. I hope you're not interested in the books. Okay, he's not a happy chicken, by the way. He was in Birdie daycare while I was in Melbourne. He still hasn't recovered. Captain W.E. Johns wrote Return to Mars in Piccolo. It looks quite cute. I like the cover. I don't really know anything about it, but I think when I asked for it to be bought for me, I did. So long and thanks for all the fish. I really like this cover. I already have the nice cover, the black one with the seal on it. But I do really enjoy this one. It's volume 4 in the trilogy of 4 according to the back of this Pan edition. This might be a reading copy, or if I ever get around to making that website, I might sell it. The final encyclopedia, Gordon R. Dixon tells us, is the magnificent conclusion to the Dorsai series. I have Dorsai. I read it earlier this year, I think, and reviewed it. It wasn't bad. I've got a few more that I haven't got to yet. Maybe in time. Okay, once again with the hardcovers that I don't love. Agatha Christie's Passenger to Frankfurt. I think there's only about 3 or 4 Agatha Christie's I don't have anymore. Sorry, don't have yet, or anymore, or one of those things. Passenger to Frankfurt is a hardcover. In order to complete the 50 to 60 books that Christie had, I'm willing to go for hardcover. But this hardcover has got by far the best artwork I've ever seen on a Christie novel. So we've got that Viking-inspired figure with the long hair blowing a horn. I think they had horns. I'm not sure about wings on their head. Never heard about that in the sagas. But there's also all those World War II symbols around the place. Christie actually wrote quite a few books around World War II, and this will, I imagine, be one of them. I'm quite happy to have that. Okay, nearing the bottom of the box, we have got Conan the Buccaneer by L. Sprague de Camp and Lynn Carter. I know that Lynn Carter didn't do his best after he joined the Conan franchise, but I wanted it anyway, so I got it. Louise Cooper wrote Blood Summer. I'm starting to look further at some of the more horror-y types, which I believe this is. And Louise Cooper, I've got a few of hers and I enjoy her writing. No chewing books. We've talked about this. Gene Wolfe. I have been so wanting to get more Gene Wolfe. I think it's mostly because of Stephen over at Outlaw Bookseller talking about him. I'm going, yeah, I used to love Gene Wolfe. Why do I only own one book? Well, now I own 2. Nightside, The Long Sun. I'm not sure that's the best Gene Wolfe. It wasn't one of the ones that I had on my list as seriously wanting to get my hands on. But I'm starting to think that if you see a Gene Wolfe, you should grab it because you may never see it again. This one is another New English Library and it's in good condition. It's not what I'd call a spectacular cover, but it's perfectly workable. I know nothing about this book except the author. And here we have Quest, Book 1 of the Chronicles of Tenenbaum by Shanna J. Someone told me I needed to read this, and then they bought this for me. I hope they were right. I have some doubts, I have to admit. No chewing books. I think we're getting bored with this whole book haul. Are we bored with the book haul? Look at the bird in the camera, by all means. Okay, final book is The Quest, Book 1 of the Chronicles of Tenenbaum. I can't remember who recommended it to me. If someone watching this was the person, tell me and remind me why I wanted it. Okay, cover. More fantasy, I believe. I believe it might even be of the more young adult variety. So, I better go away and play with my bird, who is still angry about the whole staying in boarding. Thank you for watching this long review. I've got a couple of, this long book haul video. I've got a couple of reviews coming up for you. They're both going to be pretty short to make up for the 25 odd minutes that you've borne with me so far. And if you have borne with me so far, thank you for watching. Like and comment and all the rest of it. And please encourage me to stop buying books. I think I might need an intervention. Bye.